This video is going to discuss the tissue, simple squamous epithelium. I'm going to play a video where we are looking at this tissue for simple squamous epithelium in the lung on the microscope. What we have here is the area of the tissue of the slide that students want to look at. In fact, this is blood vessels and the bronchi of the lung tissue. So all of these darkly staining, really bold regions we don't want to look at. So I'm going to move this slide over to the area where this simple squamous epithelium is actually located. And that's all of this that looks like soapy bubbles. And the view that you see now is the 4x objective. So each of these little thin lines is made up of a single layer of squamous epithelial cells. And as this focuses, you'll see now that we're on the 10x objective. And as we focus, we can see that each of these cell-like, these block-like structures is made up of a single layer of cells. And what we're seeing here are the alveoli of the lung. These are the air sacs in the lung that fill with air, and the best way that you can identify epithelium is to look for the empty space, because epithelium forms the boundaries between what's inside of our body and external. So in the case of our lungs, those air sacs are going to contain air. The alveoli are going to contain air, and it's going to allow the oxygen and the carbon dioxide to diffuse across that membrane. So this single layer of epithelial tissue, these simple squamous cells, are going to allow oxygen and carbon dioxide gas exchange across this single layer of cells. And you'll see as it's focusing, you can see the nuclei along here, and this cell is beautiful right here, and we can see single cells forming the edge, the boundary of this alveoli. So this is simple squamous epithelium. I'm going to pause that and bring over the Histology Guide website. So on the resources that we gave you, we'll take you to the Histology Guide website for simple squamous epithelium of the lung. And if we were to look at this at 4x, we see these large structures, and in fact these are blood vessels and bronchi and other larger structures, and that's not what we want to look at. What you're looking for here are those alveoli, and those are these structures right here. I'm going to take us to an area where I think it'll look really nice. And let's look right over here. If we look at 10x, we start to see that these alveoli, the walls of the alveoli, are made up of single layer of cells. So here we have single layer of cells, and the dark speckles that you see is the nucleus of each of those cells. So here's another area. A lot of times students confuse simple squamous epithelium with adipose tissue. And I would caution you when you're trying to compare the two that you will see this large bubble structure, this air sac looking structure in the adipose tissue, but pay attention to the nuclei. In simple squamous epithelium, we see nuclei all the way around this large white structure. And what's inside of this white structure, that's an air sac inside the lung, is air, room air that we have inhaled. If we were looking at adipose tissue, there would be a large cell with only one nucleus on one side. So you're not going to see this darkly staining nuclei surrounding the entire white structure. So this is simple squamous epithelium.